So there were a few things that we didn't cover on the show. Most especially, you didn't get to talk about how he died from your own perspective.
Yeah. So I think it started from the show, the last show that you went to Ikoju. And after his performance, he wanted to go home. I think we got to the show around 7 p.m. and he performed around 9 to 10 p.m. So after his performance, he just had to go because he was tired. And so many of his fans were trying to round him and all of that. So he wanted to leave, and he called his friend, Prime Boy, told his friend, because we went to 2 paddles. One, myself, my husband, his friend Prime Boy, his friend Spending, and his cousin Darisha were in one paddle, while the rest of the people were in the second paddle. So he told Prime Boy to call his younger brother, Adura, so Adura can talk to the bouncer so that they can clear the way for us so we can leave. And Prime Boy went and he came back with a harsh tone of voice. He was telling my husband that Adura was rude to him, Adura disrespected him, was talking to Adura, and Adura acted as if he didn't hear. So my husband was even trying to calm the situation. He told him that he should just calm down. He will get it sorted when we get to the house. But Prime Boy was not having it. He was just like screaming, being disrespectful to him, and the argument later turned to fight. Wow. Yeah, so within that short period of fight, my husband sustained an injury. Like while he was trying to punch Prime Boy, so he punched he mistakenly punched the paddle glass. Ooh. Yeah, so he sustained an injury as his Hamlet. And so now I went back to the house. Okay, Prime Boy did not follow us to go to the house because we already had the fight. So my brother-in-law Adura and his cousin chased him away. And on our way to the house, everybody suggested he go to the nearest hospital to treat himself. But he said no. Because he has fear for hospital, he's paranoid. Ever since the NDLA attack and the issue he had with his family, he has been paranoid and he used fear and all of that. So he said he was not going. People were even trying to convince him, you need to treat yourself, and you might have sustained injury, inner injury. But he said I was not going, that I will be fine. There's just a minor cut, and when he gets to the house, we'll call the nurse, the nurse will come to the house to treat him. I think we got to the other hand 2 a.m. on Monday morning. And immediately we got to the other, I went upstairs to pick up my baby. I have a 5-month-old baby. And normally I actually went to the show with him because I had a plan with my mother-in-law to go to the market the Monday to stop at shop. Because I was not seeing mother, so I was not supposed to go to the show with him. But I followed him because of the plan I had with my mama next day. So, but because of the fact we all had to come back to the house. So, and immediately we got to the house, I went upstairs to change to dress my baby up, and he was downstairs with his friends, his brothers, his workers, and we all just. I think around 6 a.m. in the morning, he came inside, and he apologized to me for doing that at the show because I was not happy with what he did because we have a 5-month-old baby with us. Like, what if? So he came inside, he apologized to me, we smiled, and he showed me that I told him to go to the hospital, but he said enough will come later. So I said, okay, no problem. So
it was okay all through that time.
It was fine. It was just a minor cut, a minor cut. It was not deep. So before then, his brother, his cousin Darusha, his DJ, already went to the pharmacy to get a Panadol, a rub, and spirit to clean the wounded, the injury. So I asked for it. So he showed me the drugs and everything. So I had to clean the injured parts and massage with a rub. So we slept on Monday morning, and I think I woke up early because of my baby. Now we told that to get her for. So when I woke up, I noticed that his hands swollen. So I had to wake him up and tell him that, bro, we need to go to the hospital. But he said the nurse is coming. So when I called Bami to ask, Bami said the nurse is out, that the nurse has traveled to meet our parents. And okay, so he went downstairs, and his friends were still there, Spending, Bami and other people were in the house. So he showed them the injury. He said he needs a nurse. His own personal nurse is now out. And Spending, his friend Spending, offered to get him a nurse. So Spending called the nurse. I think he called the nurse, but he did not know his name. So he gave a number to his DJ, which is Bami, to keep calling her. So I think the nurse said she was not around. And I think on Tuesday, he had a podcast with one lady called Susan, I mean my husband. And the nurse called also on Tuesday. I think a spending later called the nurse, and the nurse picked up, but then spending has already left
the house.
So spending later called Bami that she should give the nurse a call that the nurse is now around.
For those that are just listening, it's an old interview that we made it. It's not a new one. It was actually aired about 4 months ago, and now you can see the difference of an interview with whatever VDM is trying to do. The presenter here is allowing her talk your talk, do your narrations, not putting words into her mouth. That is how a professional would do her job, not what you see VDM do. So you could see the difference between an interviewer and an instigator. So that's the difference between both parties. So let's keep on tapping the screen and let's keep on listening. It's an old interview 4 months ago. That's about around March. Okay, so let's keep on listening.
So Bami called the nurse on Tuesday morning, and the nurse said she's around, that she would come. So again, Bami was not at home. So Bami called me to inform my husband if he still wants the medication. So I asked him. At first he said no, that is already getting better because and also he had plans for that day. So he later said I should just tell Bami to call her since it's just an injection, not a drip, that would take his time. So the nurse came around I think around 2 p.m. on Tuesday. And we already had plans for that day. We wanted to go for a podcast, and also we wanted to, because that was the day our baby called Club 5 months, we wanted to get him a present for his 5th month birthday. So the nurse came out around 2 p.m. Well, when the nurse came, I was already in the kitchen trying to cook for the family, because we had a plan on celebrating Liam, because he has been celebrating for his first month. Do you understand? What is the plan of celebrating Liam? So I was in the kitchen when the nurse came. And when the nurse came, she went upstairs to meet my husband. I also went. Yeah, so we wanted to take the medication Liam should, but Liam was very small, so we had to go to our own personal room, myself and my husband's room. And the nurse examined the wounded parts, and I told her that our husband is an ulcer patient, and she should be careful with whatever wants to administer on his body. She was even happy, like she was even thanking me, and thank God I informed her, and she said, so I was asking her, what kind of injection do you want to give him? I asked her, and he said, tetanus, and I forgot the rest, no, it's the medical line. So he gave, nurse administered one injection. The second one, I think it was the third one I got on his body. Oh. Yes, it was the third injection. But I was not really at the same, because I was cooking before the nurse, so I had to go to the kitchen to put all the food I was cooking. I went upstairs. So I think it was around yes, the nurse was about to give him the third injection when I entered. So immediately I entered, it was like, he was telling the nurse to remove it. I was feeling somehow. They told the nurse to remove it. I want to pee, I want to vomit. So I held his hand to the restroom. He vomited. He peed. On our way coming back from the restroom, he just fell down. They started saying his heart's hurting him. I need water. So I had to call on Adura, family, like the other people like that, they should come. So he told Adura to get him water. Adura should pour him water. So Adura got him water. We poured the water, but he was still not feeling comfortable. He said he needs an AC, he needs fan, like he's hurting inside his heart. He's hurting him.
Heat inside.
Yes, like he needs water, like he needs us to pour water. Next, he started having, his body started having reactions, like he was vomiting. So we had to carry him to Liam's room, because Liam's room has AC. But he said he's still not feeling comfortable. So I knew that this something had to be done. So I ran to our neighbors, because his car was faulty. Like his personal mechanic was working on his car. So I went to the mechanic. He has not even gone anywhere with the car. We cannot carry the car to the hospital. So I had to run to the next neighbor to please help us. And the neighbor accepted, and he followed up me upstairs to carry my husband, and I had to call on different people to just help me to carry him. So, immediately such a test, that didn't happen. The nurse ran to the nearest pharmacy. The nurse and Bami, they ran to the nearest pharmacy to get something to calm down the reaction. So on our way going to the hospital, we saw Bami and the nurse, so we had to take them along. So, and we stay around all chief. Okay. So like on our way going, there was more traffic. The traffic was really much. So we had to just uh, come down from the car and carry him on the bike to the hospital. So we got to the hospital and the nurse, the doctor, my brother-in-law and Bami went to the ward. They didn't allow me to go because of the way I was doing. So when we got to the hospital, the doctor tried to examine me. I think like 15 minutes later, just the doctor broke the news and stayed. So immediately I heard it, it sounds funny because this was the same person I had. Like we still spoke like a few minutes ago. We had planned on going to Lekki to give our baby. So it sounds like a trash to me. So I put a call through to the sister. I called the sister. I was just calling different people that day. I called my brother, his cousin Dawisha. I just called so many people. So Dawisha came to the hospital. And I told Dawisha that no, my husband cannot be dead. We have to take him to the hospital. I know they don't know what they are doing in this hospital. So I told him that we have to take him to another hospital. So we went to another hospital around Osaka, London. The nurse was also present. They were asking the nurse, what did you give him? So she was telling them, she was just talking. Mommy, I was just, but they didn't allow me to go inside because of the way I was reacting. I just started the hospital. I sat outside and I listened to their conversation. The doctor was asking, what did you give him? What did you do? Like the doctor was asking, well, when you come, while trying to put it in his vein, like you're supposed to be calm with him. Did you do this? You do that? The nurse was answering those questions. I was outside, so they tried. They did so many things to revive him, yes, but I think like 20 minutes after, the doctor broke the news again that he's dead and there's nothing we can do.
Oh my God.
From that spot, I didn't even know anything again. I knew that I got back to, went back to the house. His body was taken up too, and the nurse was with us through the night. And after my father,
the nurse was with us through the night. So that's a statement of me that these stupid people thought there was a second nurse. The only other person that examined Mohbad was the nurse in the ambulance, which Baba said in his CTC that another nurse that came with the ambulance examined Mohbad and still confirmed him dead. So that's the statement that all these fools have been translating so wrongly. I'm going to take it back for about 1 minute so that we hear this stuff again. Now, while I'm replaying this video, it's just because of some people who are always saying the wife should come out. The wife should come out. The wife should come out. Wunmi should explain what happened to her husband. She has done this. Why are you guys still mad? I'm taking it back about 30 seconds, then I'll replay it again.
The way I was reacting. I just started the hospital. I sat outside and I listened to their conversation. The doctor was asking, what did you give him? What did you do? The doctor was asking, well, when you come, while trying to put it in his vein, you're supposed to be calm with him. Did you do this? You do that? The nurse was answering those questions. I was outside, so they tried. They did so many things to revive him, yes, but I think like 20 minutes after, the doctor broke the news again that he's dead and there's nothing we can do.
Oh my God.
From that spot, I didn't even know anything again. But I knew that I got back to, went back to the house. His body was taken up too, and the nurse was with us through the night. And after my father-in-law, the rest of the family came and
again, she said the nurse was with us through the night.
Now his friends also came around. We even had to get another nurse to come to the house to try to find something to do to him, but nothing was done.
So that's the instance of another nurse. So when people don't understand plain English, the first nurse was the one that injected. That one came back with them from the hospital and she stayed through the night. Simple English. simple English, and some stupid fools will tell you that, oh no, one nurse was there since Monday, Usumoji or Tuesday, before the other nurse came. It's just so hard that these people don't understand plain English language. Let's continue.
The nurse was with us throughout. When my father-in-law came to the house, the nurse narrated everything that happened to him. He wanted to get the nurse arrested. But my father-in-law said we should allow her to go. That he doesn't have any business with the nurse, that she should go. And
Where is the nurse now?
the nurse, I think they've granted her bail. The nurse is out there. I saw a video of her last month. She was in club living her life. Like she was living her life. I saw a video. She was on makeup. She did frontal, like living her life. Like I just was so unfortunate because somebody's life is on hold. A lady like you is not a widow just because of your mistake. And the nurse is out there living her life.
It's so sad. I'm a bit confused a little though, because I know that when the story came out for Justice for Mohbad, the story was not highlighting the nurse. Though they mentioned it, it was highlighting more of all the bullying that took place before. Was there an impact of the bullying on what happened that day? Is that why there's still a claim that the bullying must have affected? Was there any correlation? Or was it just the nurse?
It is just the nurse. But one thing about it is that, like, the bullying had a negative effect in his life. Do you understand? Because if he was not bullied, if he was not living in fear, he would have gone to the hospital straight immediately.
I hope we all can see, and I'm not trying to debunk anything, just stating the obvious from Wumi's explanation here. She's not saying people that bullied were the ones that bite him, but the impact of you guys bully has made this guy so scared of his life that he has become so private that he doesn't even want to go to the hospital for fear of being attacked again. So that's just the correlation she's putting between both stuffs. So let's continue though.
Do you understand? One way or the other, the bullying has affected him to the extent that it is like he has already put the fear in me too. Because when I had my baby, I was supposed to have my baby at the hospital, but he insisted that I can never deliver his child in the hospital. We had to go to this traditional.
Wow,
That's how it was. It's really affected his way of life, his level of thinking. Like so many things changed in his life. And even when I had my baby, like there was so many complications too. I could have died too. Do you understand? But thank God, like he came over with the rushed me to the hospital. Like I became better. So one thing is the bullying had so many negative impacts in his life, his way of life, the way he lives, the way it's even affected his income because there are some shows I can never attend because those people would go there to bully him. So it affected him in so many ways. And I knew for a fact that if we had gone to the hospital, there is a possibility that my husband would be alive. Do you understand? But because he said I was not going. I even got to a point, he started screaming at his cousin. I was like, why is he forcing him? He said he's not going, And for him, and my husband is somebody that usually goes to the hospital. Any inconvenience, even if it's dead, he will go to the hospital. But for him to have said he's not going, just know how much the bullying has affected him.
There was one of the people that took the story of Justice for Mohbad very seriously and became even almost controversial about it is Fabi. And I wanted to know, how did you feel about everybody that was jumping on? Like, this is your own personal experience. You are going through trauma and people are on Instagram shouting and doing broadcasts on your life.
Yo, may come and chop your soap.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
So it made me feel sad because so many people have become successful in this Justice for Mohbad. A lot of people have made so much money. A lot of money, like millions of money. You don't even want to know. So it's something that makes me feel sad because they are literally like happy on our own pain, our own sadness. But there's little I can do because Australia has given them the chance to do whatever they want to do, to go to go all out. As far as they are defaming me, he doesn't mind. Do you understand? As far as they are coming for me, he does not mind if they make money or anything. But all he wants is just for them to keep coming for me. Do you understand? And you understand the equation. Do you understand? The first interview that I heard of was he did a live video on Instagram saying Nigerian police arrest me. I don't even know him. I didn't even know him to be an artist.
So why was it not attacking you?
But the funniest thing, so later I saw that live video. I tried to check.
Wumi, you said you get bad mouth. I don't even know him to be an artist. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Ah, Wumi. Hey.
His Andrew on my Instagram. I noticed that he has blocked me. So I thought that this one is actually coming with like his own personal issue because I don't know him. I didn't really. So for him to have even blocked me shows that he has this bitterness and hatred for me. Do you understand? So everything that he has been doing, I am not really surprised. But it's just so sad with the way he's going about it. Because a lot of people believe in him. They believe whatever he says is the truth. And, he's been using that to milk the public. Do you understand? At first, it came with the narrative of CCTV. Like, oh, he has a CCTV of my husband's apartment. The CCTV has captured where I was fighting him or where a lot of people were outside crying that my husband has died way before the time that it was announced online. It was just giving so many narratives, and people tend to believe because they feel like, oh, he's an online activist, online human rights activist. Because I feel like a group activist is just supposed to be partial. He should hear from both sides. But for him to have chose a part even before getting to hear, for him to have even blocked me, it shows that he's actually coming for me. Do you understand? So a lot of people contributed money for him. A lot of people contributed money for him for the CCTV because he claimed he has the real evidence, and people believed it.
Did not come out to the CCTV.
He even said he has tendered it to the Nigerian police, and so many people believe. Not until it is time for people to say, like, okay, yes, you said this. Let's see it. And he ran to the UK. He said some people after his life. After, I think he spent like a month in the UK or so. He came back to Nigeria again. Was talking about CCTV. And one of the my husband's tenants, because I don't know them, came out to bust his lies that, bro, this guy has been lying. There's no CCTV anywhere. There was no CCTV that captured anything about Mohbad or anything. That he has been lying. And there was no CCTV. There was CCTV, but it was not fixed before my husband demise. Because we got to that, I think, barely 4 months. And my husband died. So we're just trying to arrange things together. That, yes. So I think when he got busted, then he moved away from the CCTV narrative. But was always going online, talking about justice for Mohbad, And he went, and he also said that anybody that has any evidence on what killed Mohbad should send him a message that he will give the person $5 million and they will make sure that the person traveled to Canada.
Come out with evidence.
So one of my husband's friend, Damola is a long-time friend of my husband. Okay, so there is one phone, iPhone 13, that I was using before my husband got me this before he died. So I gave that phone to my brother, Rajura, to use it since my husband already got a new phone. And when I wanted to give him the phone, I didn't delete anything from it because there is nothing. Yes, you hear exactly. We are families. So I think Adura already bought another phone after his brother demise. And Adura sold the phone to Damola, who was my husband's friend. Because we are all family. So I think when Adura wanted to sell the phone for Damola, he didn't delete anything from the phone. She understand. So there was one video of me and our long-time friend. The guy is also my husband's friend. The guy is also my friend. I went to the same secondary school with the guy. And the guy and my husband stays in the same area in Ikorodu. We are all from Ikorodu. So that video was just me and that guy. We had a disagreement. She understands. And the video is all about me and that guy. So I think Damola saw that video. And he used that as an avenue he wanted to use that as an avenue to collect money from the Orifabi.
Oh.
Do you understand? So, I told you that I didn't delete anything from before when he wanted to sell it for the Damola. So Damola asked him to Abdulah's.
I hope you guys are noticing the style of the interview. The interviewer is allowing her to speak freely, narrate everything you want to narrate. And she's only doing, okay. Then just stop her, ask a question, not a leading question, but a question to like, let me understand what happened here. Not like, is this not what happened? So you could see the style in an interview, and you trying to instigate something. So that's the style and the difference of what was done at TVC and what the heck VDM is trying to do. So, guys, let's continue tapping the screen, and we're almost done with the interview. I think it's about 7 more minutes. Let's continue.
TikTok and texted Yomi Fabi. He told Yomi Fabi that he has evidence of where I pushed his brother, like he was impersonating Adura.
Okay.
Do you understand? Like, oh, hello, I have a video where Wunmi pushed my brother. I have a video where Wunmi did this and that, and so Yomi Fabi was trying to flow with him. So he's requested for money. I think he said he wanted 3 million. Yomi Fabi said it was not much. Like, they were just bargaining on what to do. Then Yomi Fabi said he should just at least send like few clips. They kept on, bargaining. Like, so the guy said, the Damola guy said he needs money. So Yomi Fabi said she just at least send him like 3-second clip just so that he can be sure before sending him the money. The guy even sent a Bitcoin account. He didn't say that it was traceable. So he sent a Bitcoin account. And he now said 3 seconds of that video of myself and my friend, who is Zomo. The other guy, his name is Zomo. And you know what he did? He now blurred the face. Because you know that my husband is not in the video. So he blurred the face and just left where the noise. So do you understand? And I think he later got busted. But Adura got to know what he did.
Was using the phone.
Yeah, so Adura and my husband's cousin got him arrested. He was arrested for I think like 3 days. And the case was later transferred to Ikeja police station. At first, he was lying. Not until the Nigerian police collect the phone from him and they did their thing. I think it's forensic. I don't even know what it is. And they got to know that he was even talking to Fabi on the phone. Like they were already
done phone calls.
Yeah, they've done phone calls, like they've been texting and all of that. So then now later confessed that yes, he did that. He was trying to beg everybody.
They just wanted to make money.
Yes.
How much money do you think that they've made from your husband's passing? People have made different people.
People have made millions. Millions of money, like a whole lot of money. Do you understand? And Yomi Fabi himself also went to the police station.
Okay.
And Damola confirmed that he was the one that impersonated Adura, which is my brother-in-law. Damola even told me that Yomi Fabi was telling him to lie at the police station. Yes, because after the opening, he's always in my DMs begging me. I mean, this Damola trying to get me. Like, he has sent numerous voice notes begging me. He even called his mom. His mommy also begged him. Like, his mommy was literally crying on the phone and asking for my forgiveness. And I told them that I don't have anything against him. And all I want is just for him to clear my brother-in-law out of that mess. And so he told me that Yomi Fabi asked him to lie. He should mention that he should keep on talking about Adura. That Adura was the one that did it, but he said he was not going to lie. And in fact, he has been charged to court. The guy, the Zamala guy, has been charged to court. He has confessed to the judge, but he has been trying to reach out to my brother-in-law to drop the case. And he has reached out to my brother-in-law. He has begged. He has done so many things.
People were just lying and trying to defame you and making money from it. How many GoFundMe accounts are you aware of?
I think it's one. Okay. One that my father-in-law opened.
Did they give you any money from the GoFundMe account to support the children?
No. The child?
Your daughter? Your son? What? Sorry, let me say it. Were you giving any money from the GoFundMe account to support your son?
No. So, and since then, the Damola guys are the cases in court. I think the case was adjourned till March. He has confessed, but he's been trying to beg, to reach out to everybody, to beg us, and and Yomi Fabi, who happens to know the truth, has been out there creating different narratives to people, and a lot of people tend to believe. In fact, they've been giving him a lot. They've been contributing so much money
to him,
and that is just one thing I just want the people giving him money to do. They should just tell him to go to Ikeja, where the phone is. I want him to see the video so that at least people stop giving him their money, because I'm like presently. Trust me, there are some people that are about to give him some money because they believe that video is
a evidence.
Just as
you are the one that
exactly. This video was given 3 years ago when we were at Osaka, because we stayed in Osaka before moving to watch it. So like 3 years ago, and he's been emphasizing on that video, making him look like it's a big deal. So I just want, like, the one thing I would just want him to do is just to go to Ikeja to see the video himself and see that my husband is not even in that video. She understands. I don't
So
like
they can clear your name and he will know.
no, so, he knows that he knows the truth. But the people that he has been trying to convince with lies, like I just pity those people. They've been giving him money, thinking, oh, there is one
Fighting for justice,
and thinking there is one thing somewhere. Do you understand? So yeah, I think that, and he's been out there defaming me, defaming my brother-in-law, making it seem like, oh, my brother-in-law knows a lot and he's been trying to hide from the, do you understand, from the truth. Like he has been painting that narrative, and a lot of people has.
But in conclusion, what would you want people to just note concerning like this entire justice for Mohbad movement? Yes, what would you want people to note?
Okay, so one thing I want people to note is that there is a nurse involved in this case. My husband reacted to an injection. So I don't know if the nurse did it on purpose or it was a mistake. I don't know if the nurse was sent or it was just bound to happen. That is one thing that I need to know, because my husband is not just taking an injection. So why this particular one? I really need to know what happened. I really need to know if the nurse was actually sent to do what she did, or it was just it was just a normal thing. And also
they should conclude
the inquest. Yeah, I feel like yes, also yes, and also the inquest. But the inquest now, my father-in-law is the one in the position to make it happen. Do you understand? She needs to talk to that other woman to get things done. Do you understand? So I feel like the inquest should reopen, and the only person that can make it fast is Baba, which is my father-in-law, and also the DNA. I want to get the DNA done. A lot of people do not even know that I've been ready for this DNA since 2023 in November. A lot of people feel like, oh, I was the one that took my father-in-law to court without getting to know that he was even the one that made it legal. Like he was the one that took it to court. I felt that he was the one that messaged my lawyer. Like I expected him to at least call me as his daughter-in-law to address it, but no, he never did. Instead, he had to buzz my lawyer for it. So a lot of people do not know many things. A lot of people feel like, oh, maybe I have been running for it. Why is it now that I want to do it? And most of them do not even know that I have been ready since last 2023 November. Do you understand? So I think those are the three things. And also the people that bullied my husband. Do you understand? An injustice for one is an injustice for all.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are a victim of this. So I just want like my husband whole. I want like that is one those things that can give me closure. At least my husband did not die in vain. The people that bullied him
got justice.
Yes, and also the nurse and the guy that fought with him at the show. Do you understand? So those are the things that can give me closure, and that would that even when Liam grows up and wanted to know what happened to his father, like while telling him
the story is complete.
Exactly.
All right. Honestly, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, do we have people that want to react to what I've played?
I want to talk one thing. Ẹ̀yin wèrè tẹ́ni kò sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bully. Ṣé ti gbọ́ ṣé tí yín ò di? Kò sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bully, kò sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bully, kò sọ̀rọ̀ nípa diamali. Ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́ tó sọ sí tó ní and the people that bullied my husband. Àwọn òde. Ẹ má bínú ọ̀rọ̀ kékeré tí n fẹ́ sọ ni.
No problem. Do we still have other people? Should be me, Mommy Abistoch. President call mute kala. Ọlọ́run mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Ẹ kò wà ń bẹ̀ ni. No problem. I only noticed that I really called. That was like, let's start on a very light note by bringing an old video of Wunmi out. Like, let's hear our own side of the story that people always say she never came out. I'm actually at work and I won't be here throughout. So, yeah, she also mentioned it at the coroner inquest. Yes. If anybody has the CTC, I think it starts from page 231 or something, 231 to 245. She was talking about those people that bullied her husband. So, and she mentioned their names. So, not that she just said people that bullied. She mentioned their names. The industry gods. She mentioned their names there. So, do we have other reactions? Does anybody want to come up to make a summary of everything you heard this morning, or something you heard that you want to deliberate on? You could come up and say one or two things. Yeah, she said it all in all her interviews. Yes, she mentioned about the bullying in all her interviews. Okay, I would be muting myself. I'll be muting myself at my work, and I'll be very busy very soon. Today is Monday. If we don't, I don't want to play music. I don't want to play music.
With the public, we almost know that the DPP situation is a bit weak from the point of view of.
We knew that from the start. I mean, so all this shout is for me,
If we look at it and we know what the result is going to be, why then did VDM come out with this? Is it because he's staging a comeback, or is
that's
it?
That's what.
Does he just want to use it? Does he want to use it to catch cruise?
You took the words from me,
Just
for me. That's what I was telling you. For me, God feeling no holds back. Look, in media, you study what's going on. For those guys who have made it a career, or they use it to make money or to propel their fame, they study what's going on and they know when to come in. And that's why you see VDM, like Aristocrat said, in and out like NEPA, and VDM is a guy with so much on his hand, doing a whole lot at the same time. So look, there is nothing VDM is going to bring out now that he could have brought out or that he didn't already know. Let's get that straight. He's been with the video. The video is in the middle and silently on this case. The video, in my opinion, with his resources, with his magnitude, probably knows everything that happened to Mohbad and how it happened. If he doesn't, then it means these guys don't have no brains.
Well, people know what they know, don't they?
No, so now let's check this out. We're looking at VDM now. VDM is a close associate of David. VDM is a close associate to Cubana. VDM is close to Don Jazzy, So you're gonna tell me that in their caucus, whatever was, whatever is, whatever has been, and whatever will be, if VDM says he does not know and he's just doing that interview as an inquisitive investigator, I'll say fuck all of them. Fuck all y'all don't know shit.
You see, the thing that troubles me is the timing. Yeah.
That's the thing. He took advantage.
Yeah.
That's marketing. He took advantage. DPP is here. Baba Mohbad is going to lose. Sam Larry case, the DPP withdrew some charges. So what a better way to shine. Who are we talking about for the past 4 days now or 1 week? VDM. His ratings are up. People like him. People hate him. People don't know what to think about him. Either way, VDM wins.
Yeah.
Either way, VDM wins. That's the strategy.
It becomes relevant again.
Yeah, it's relevant again. And there is no law that says VDM must provide the killer of Mohbad. You understand? There is no law.
The whole charade of what they put together up till now and his request for Zlatan in the next 24 days.
Forget that Zlatan thing.
It's just more like.
No, do you know what's the lust for us? For we on the J4M, the ordinary people, we lose our focus again.
Yeah.
Once more, we are being distracted.
A bit of distraction, yes.
Yeah, right before this, we were talking about the way forward, trying to unionize and start all over. But is anybody thinking that way now? No.
Yeah.
And now instead of us getting back on track, we got Madam Aries causing mayhem again. So
if you look at it, you almost want to think what a best time to come up with another table bender.
If there's anything certain in justice for Mohbad, it's change. New stories every week. So for the next week, it's going to be you and Paprano.
But it's just distractions. Really, it doesn't change anything because literally, have you forgotten? Over the last how many weeks? 3 weeks. It was Gorexi, Lagata.
That's what I'm telling you. The only thing certain about this movement is change. New stories. It's almost every week. Every 2 weeks, something else comes up, and people get gullible about it. But for me and you right now, what do you think we can do, knowing that the Joe Bad camp is framelessly famous? But there's a soft part of me. I did a video this morning, and I didn't post it. And my video was a plea to Joseph Aloba to apologize to the people who came out to help him and let them get back on the table to find the legal solutions for him, because he's lost it so far.
Okay, let's now that you've mentioned, I don't want this to skip my mind. Yesterday we were on Thunderfire's platform, and there was an SOS from Apapa because the Baba people, critical thinkers, eroded his platform. And they decided to kind of engage him, and it was more like they were few people. He needed more intelligence, so he came to Thunderfire's platform, loaned people. So a lot of people switched across to the other side, and then Jack, a very wicked lady, against Ishak and Honorable York on the other side. If you go onto my repost, you will actually pick that one up. It was quite interesting. Why? Because in the guise of the conversation, Ishak mentioned something about the contribution to the GoFundMe is discretionary.
No, he said it was a private donation.
No, he said it's discretionary. Now,
well, the earlier argument that I heard from him and Pok York was that it was a private donation.
No, I think where it is from the beginning, they were throwing the dictionary at contribution, and then Jack came up with a description in full, and then mentioned private donation. And then I think Jack probably lost focus at that point, so they defeated him there. He was unable to emphasize.
Jack losing an argument?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Are you saying just Jack lost an argument?
No, he lost composure because I think in between Jack was drifting in and out. Because when he could have actually composed himself properly, he was probably busy
at a point.
No, I think he was busy with Google, and I think if he had actually stayed focused and kind of address it with his intellectuals, that probably would have worked. But he was trying to learn information off Google.
Why didn't you go up and help him?
No, I was on Thunderfire's platform. So when Apapa came to do the SOS, he said they've eroded his platform. And Thunderfire said, if you're struggling, why don't you just shut your platform? He said it needs help because...
No, but I think Apapa was... The way the earlier part of the day when I listened to Apapa's platform with Pok York and that Ishaq guy, I think Apapa kind of encouraged and I think Comfy was there at the same time too.
Let me tell you how it started. I think Apapa made a mistake. He opened his platform, which I always say to hosts, don't leave your platform unattended. If you have to go...
Yes.
So
he went away, yes.
So a bit of madness. And I think, if I'm correct, they decided to drag baby Liam. And that descended into anarchy. And I think when Honorable York and the rest of them came, they thought it was a retaliation to what happened. I don't know if Comfy got involved as well. But then at the end of the day, when he called for that SOS, everybody moved from this side to that side. And then Jack was there. But I didn't know what really happened until when the bloggers reposted it later. Yeah, we weren't really privy to what was going on until later Because when I did a submission and I had to drop off Thunderfire's platform, I then sat on Thunderfire's window for a bit, and then it was then that I then got an update from Thunderfire about what happened during that period. And yeah, I mean, they...
Okay, IT, all said and done.
Well, before we carry on, the critical thinkers are almost advocating that Mr. Joseph Aloba doesn't have to give anybody information about accountability as far as the GoFundMe is concerned. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, you see, but well, before I move on, see, kids will always reason like kids. So I try not to delve too much into, this immature way of thinking. That person should go and look at the GoFundMe guidelines. They check the GoFundMe guidelines and what GoFundMe stands for, and then before they speak, and they have to look at the message that was published on the GoFundMe. What the money was supposed to be used for.
I think you look at it. You say they have objectives. You've got their name. The objective spanned from burial, fund forensics, what else? An element of getting lawyers and few other bits and pieces. Or and then maybe you do the toxicology and autopsy and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of what is on the agenda, how much they spend the entire money on autopsy, because up to
this is Nigeria. This is how they reason. They can buy a piece of block for 500,000 naira just to justify the use of that money. You told them to buy block, so they bought block. And if they spend 500,000 instead of 700 naira, well, that's your headache, not theirs. They bought block. So like they've gone to court. Yeah. They've gone to court with the DPP. So they'll going to court. They knew what they were doing. They knew they were not going to win. They knew they had no basis. A 6-year-old could say, look, you're not going to get away with this in court. But they will go to court just to prove to you that, hey, we went to court. Sam Shitu is probably also leading them on like, hey, y'all pay me, so who cares? Win or lose, I walk home with my money. So, I mean, that's what happens when you roll with kids. And unfortunately, even the so-called old folks that are around Baba Mohbad now, because when I knew him, he had millions of kids around him. And now it looks like he's got matured kids around him, and they're giving him this dumb. And in a way, I feel sad, like I said to you this morning, I was feeling bad. I did a video to plead with him. I wanted to plead with him to change his camp and get real people to help him, not this child's play.
African TV. With all the bit we've said and how disgruntled we were about how Access, Wema, and GoFundMe was managed and all that kind of stuff, right? If there's nothing we can do about it, and there isn't any aspect of the law or any movement that can challenge how the money was spent, disbursed, or what have you. Now, anything Joseph Aloba wants to do right now will need money. The question is, where is the money going to come from?
Well, the truth of the matter is a viable legal move will always source itself out. There is nothing Joseph Aloba wants to do that the money will not come out. With the right approach and the right people at the aim of things, if he gets the right people, like they say, money now water, present to the people the truth, the facts, and show them that this is legally possible.
So if the money side is sorted, and we see the performance of Sanshitu on this DPP case, I mean, do we then not have a problem that it needs to be surrounded by the right people? And who are the right people? So
that's the point I'm making, since this man needs to make a quick change.
Yeah.
He needs to make a quick change. The inquest is going to come, and we're already predicting he's not going to get a good result from the inquest. And if he loses, we lose. Unfortunately, his loss is our loss. It's Mohbad's loss. That was the video I made this morning. So we can't fold our hands and watch him lose. You know, I feel sorry for those who are clamoring, oh, they're dumb, they're critical thinkers, they're illiterate. Yes, they are. They are, but what are you doing? Because the fight is for us, the people. They don't care. They're probably getting paid. They're probably getting settled. It's we that have to do something different. You know a thief is in your house, and you keep saying, there is a thief, there's a thief, there's a thief, but you're not doing anything to get the thief out of your house. Yeah, you know we're losing this case, and you're not doing anything for us to win this case.
African TV, this is what I've got for you. Given by the performance of the critical thinkers and their people on Apapa's platform yesterday, I will say they are still in there, and they will be the first group of people that Joseph Aloba will reach out to. Should the public now not put a force together to engage with the critical thinkers?
If they 9 out of 10, they would not want to engage with us. I listen to them.
Have we tried? There's nothing stopping us from trying. Because you cannot start a movement from the beginning, right?
No, hold on. IT guy. This is the try. I listened to Comfy and Ishak and Pokyok, and I can tell you, just like they condemn the movement that we're trying to make, I'm telling you, these guys have a sense of entitlement. They have this big bias against us, and they feel like only they can do it, and they don't really want anybody from our side. I mean, if they're receptive to working with us, there's nothing wrong with that. That would be the ideal situation, because they are obviously in tune with Baba Mohbad. He likes them, you know, or at least he's comfortable working with them. But they have to come to terms with their sense and the limitation of their knowledge in legal proceedings. By now, it's obvious. Somebody should sing the song to them. They've lost. Legally, they've been able to prove that they cannot navigate this movement for the legal charting that it needs. Now, if they can drop their ego and their sense of self-entitlement and engage those of us who are doing it spiritually, naturally, without bias, if they can engage us and let us at least show them the way. Now, that's not to say that the whole justice depends on them. We know how to get our justice, different pockets of justice. But this major issue that is riding in court, the inquest, how to bring back a new inquest if they fail, what are the strategies, how to go for fiat, what are the strategies, how to go after the several boxes, Pandora boxes of justice, they are clueless. And I wouldn't want them to make this mistake until we all get so grayed out and old, and our kids would have to be the ones telling the story.
TV, let's see if we can change the dynamics of discussion. Let's have Adedoyin. Adedoyin, good afternoon to you, Madam Adedoyin.
Adedoyin, welcome. Good afternoon.
Adedoyin. So what we're going to do in the time is to I need to change location. Bear with me just a minute. It's going to be my background. So I want to move. Bear with me just a moment. Okay, Madam Adedoyin, let's have you. You say the thing is, what I will do exclusively is I'm just going to tap into what is on your mind. Anything on your mind. Thank you. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon, IT guy. I think I was actually listening to what you were saying about the big loss today when it comes to Mr. Loban's hospital. But I think that they can still, they can still win this case. Yeah, they can still win this case. You know, they can go further as going to the Supreme Court. But I think that they need to have evidence. They need to, because you can't just you can't ask the court to bring Sam Larry back, to bring this back, if you don't have evidence to back it up. You need to have evidence of serious bullying. When you're talking about Sam Larry bullied Mohbad, you need to have evidence of that. You need to have a strong evidence against him that Mohbad was beaten up by Sam Larry himself and Naira Marley. So, and I just want to leave that to the sun. But I know that I spoke in the past, and I said that they need to have a strong legal team. When I mean a strong legal team, they need to have other backers of other lawyers who are who are intelligent. Sam Larry is very the SAN is very intelligent, but I don't want to speak further on that because of the because I don't want but I just think that they need to carefully look at this, because it will be a big blow in this case if at the end of the day the coroner court itself do not refer this case to the High Court. I think it's going to be a big loss. So now they need to start doing their homework. I said the other day, they need to call themselves back and see what they can do. And I said they need to do that before this sitting. But I don't think that happened. But that's all right.
So if we look at the situation, what we're looking at this point in time is that we're almost heading in a direction to say that Sanchito is not big enough, good enough, or does he just need a robust team around him?
Well, I'm not going to say that Sanchito is not big enough, or it's not. It's not about being big. It's about evidence. I've said it so many times. You need to have your evidence. You can't just go to, you can be the biggest son on earth. The court will not the court will recognize that because it's a title and you work for it. But you need to have evidences. I'm talking about concrete evidences to prove that something happened. You need that. Let's say, for example, somebody, bullied you, and you sue the person to court, for harassment and for bullying, whatever it is. When you get to the court, the judge will ask you for videos. Maybe if you were mentally abused, due to, what happened, did you go to the doctor? Because, how did this affect you? How did the bullying affect you?
So, Madam Adedoyin, what we're saying at this point in time, I can see where you're going. You need something concrete, whether you've gone to a psychiatrist, whether, or has gone to hospital, there's catalog of information to say, this period of time is when it was attacked by Naira Marley, this period of time is when it was attacked by Sam Larry, and the evidence is there. Now, if this case is to go to higher court, which seems like the Supreme Court, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So if it does, we know where we are. Even if you now surround yourself with 50 signs, do you think it's actually worth going to the Supreme Court at this stage?
Yes, it's worth going to the Supreme Court. And I think what they need to do, they need to take a different direction. Now, they need to look away from that and sue Sam Larry.
Okay.
They need to use a different route. They need to sue Sam Larry, and they need to sue Naira Marley if Naira Marley bullied Mohbad. And I am going to come back again. They need to have concrete evidences to prove that. They need to immediately right now, because the way this is going, I'm surprised.
Let's have a look at this. Now, this case was adjourned last week or so, and then they did not have evidence, subject to the fact that they don't have enough or any evidence. Now, within that period of time, this is now thrown out of the window. Now, if that is the case, Does it now mean, first, they will not have any evidence because all the evidences that they can actually provide is short clips, 9 seconds, 6 seconds, and all this stuff on the internet that you and I can put together that will not be admissible in court. I mean, is that what there is available now? Can anything be available beyond this period of time?
Well, they can have a witness apart from if Mohbad's friends who actually saw what happened, they can start as a good evidence, okay, as a witness. So if they have a bunch of people that can come up,
is it not far-fetched now?
No. Well, no, I don't think so.
How many of Mohbad's friends do you think will come out now and provide evidence and want to support the case?
They will. If they really love Mohbad and they really want justice for Mohbad, they all should come together and actually provide words and speak and stand up for him. If they can do that, then I think they will win the case. Because they will win the case if they can do that. But if not, no, I don't think this will go anywhere. Even if they go to the Supreme Court, no, it's not going to go anywhere. Without that, they need to sue right now. They need to go a different route.
We have VDM. We have the Zlatan situation. Now, if Zlatan is an example of the so-called Mohbad's friends and is not willing to come out at this point in time, maybe it's when they drag him to court. So how many of Mohbad's friends do you know that will come out at all?
I'm not familiar with Mohbad's friends, but I know that the wife can also provide friends. And I think the wife also is a big two here. She can stand up right now and do the needful. So if she stands up and Mohbad's brother stand up, and they have maybe 2 other friends or 3 other friends, maybe 2 other friends, not actually 3 other friends, as a witness, then I think they can win this. But I think at the end of the day, maybe what they need to do, they can ask for, maybe compensation. Maybe they can do that. They can actually ask for compensation. So they should take these guys to court.
There are 2 things. Okay, you mentioned compensation. Let's hold.
Yeah, compensation. They should request for compensation. Yeah, maybe damages.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to compensation. With VDM at the moment, VDM, right? Let's say VDM has got something to bring out right now. Yeah. Would anyone not have thought that Wunmi should be working with VDM? And do you think Wunmi will ever even think about working with VDM?
No. I don't think Wunmi should work with VDM. Because I don't think Wunmi should.
You said there is a possibility if Wunmi mentions some of Mohbad's faithfuls in terms of friends, if Wunmi is going to mention that, it will be leaning towards supporting what VDM is doing at the moment. Don't you think that?
No. Because if you look at this case, you see that what VDM is doing is VDM is actually trying hard to bring that woman. Okay,
to bring her down.
To bring the woman down, yes. Because if an intelligent person sits and look at this case, you will see that VDM have a different he has a different agenda, and his agenda is best known to him. But I think what VDM is trying to do is to clip Wunmi. Okay, so you're not telling Wunmi to go and work with VDM. I don't think that is going to work. What Wunmi needs to do is to separate herself and sue Sam Larry for bullying her husband. Then she needs to back it up. Like I said, you need to back it up if you have medical reports. I think that is a very strong evidence against him.
With everything we have so far, why would Wunmi want to sue Sam Larry and Naira Marley?
Why would Wunmi want to sue Sam Larry? Because they bullied her husband. And she said her husband died before he died. So that's a big thing. Your husband died before he actually died. That's a big thing. Then if I was in her shoes, I would sue. I will. So she needs to do that. You said your husband died before he died. He was bullied. That's a strong word.
So what's going
Are we
on?
really looking at that?
What do you think should urge her to want to go down that route? I just want to understand.
Well, for me, I think maybe, she was traumatized and she's still traumatized by what they did to her husband. So she needs to go for that. She needs to do that because, at the end of the day, is justice for her husband. And the world needs to see that. Because if you're saying that Naira Marley and Sam Larry actually, because look, hold on first, let me just veer a little bit. At the end of the day, Sam Larry and Naira Marley will still go back again. Because they will still record them to the High Court again, and I believe that. But now, Wunmi needs to do that ASAP. She needs to sue these guys if she believed that they bullied her husband and he died before he died. That is a strong word. She needs to do that. Because Wunmi is like, how do I put it? Wunmi is the next of kin.
Why is she not actively seeking, not justice at the moment? Why is she not seeking, whether it's compensation, whether it's a reprisal, or whatever the case may be? Why do you think she's not pushing to ensure that Naira Marley and Sam Larry get what is due to them for the bullying? Why do you think she's not doing it?
Well, at the same time, we need to look at this.
No, why do you think she's not doing it?
Well, I think that, do they have a stronghold on her? Wunmi?
But shouldn't Wunmi be working with Joseph Aloba on this matter?
No, hold on. Let's not mix this up. Now, we're talking about why is she not... Hold on, you asked the question, why is she not suing them, right? So let's get to that first.
With all things equal, yeah, we will class Joseph Aloba and Wunmi Cynthia Adebanjo as complainants. And if they have common interests, why should they not be working together?
Well, that's the question, we need to ask. I think it's a family rift, so it's between them. So, and I don't think we should get into their family issues, right? Because we are outsiders. So now, why is Wunmi not suing Sam Larry and Naira Marley? Remember, Wunmi was in their caucus. Wunmi was in the caucus. In their caucus. So do they have something against her? And, this is I don't know what to call this. Do they have something against her? And if she go ahead to sue them, is that going to backfire on her? So and I think that's the reason why she might not want to go that route.
No, you have an inference. You're inferring something there. Mm-hmm. So how would it backfire on her?
That is if they have something against her. If they have something serious against her. Maybe she also had a fight with Mohbad that they recorded.
So maybe she can ask for witness protection and then spill the beans?
Maybe.
All right. Okay. Thank you for that. You've been wonderful. We're going to carry on. Let's go. Let's just move across to Queen Abiki. Queen Abiki, long time. You are back again.
My guy, how you been?
Did VDM just bring you out of retirement?
I was trying to retire. That stupid guy brought me out of retirement.
Oh my God, I thought so. I've seen few of your postings. All right, what's on your mind?
So what's the topic today?
Free flow. We just need to, we've got the DPP, the outcome of the DPP versus Joseph Aloba today. The case is thrown out of window after it was put on recess for about a week or whatever. And then we have VDM, Naira Marley, and their video.
So what's the case between Joseph Aloba and the DPP? What was it?
No, the case would have been simply that, okay, let's start from somewhere. We have the inquest, yeah? And at some point, the DPP decided that they no longer need Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and Prime Boy. And because the cause of death exonerates them, then as far as the inquest is concerned, we don't need them as for anything any longer. And then obviously, Mr. Joseph Aloba himself went to Sanshitu to sort of like say, how can they just exonerate them just like that? Obviously, it's fact-finding on the inquest about the cause of death. Now, if they've been eliminated from that process, Joseph Aloba is saying, oh, by the bully case. Now, if he then wants to, fight the DPP for that other aspect, which is bullying, then I think he needs evidence. And then when the case came up last week, it was thought that there is no evidence in any form or shape. So the case was adjourned to today, and it will be clear that they did not come up with anything surmountable, anything useful, and then they just throw the case out of court. So that's the case today.
Oh, okay. So let me just clear this from what you were discussing with Adedoyi.
Yes.
You know, in the beginning, people are trying to change the narrative now. They go as it fits. Justice for Mohbad was about, people are getting this confused. It's not about Naira Marley and Sam Larry physically, had anything to do with the demise of Mohbad. What we all came out for was for bullying. That's the justice we were all seeking for. But for somehow, African television and VDM turned this into the DNA issue, and we all diverted from it, and which brought about the abuse and bullying of the son and the wife. Fast forward today, we are here. Now people are trying to say the wife should go and sue. Sue who for what? After destroying the case, our energy, our collective energy should have gone right to seeking for justice for the bullying. It was there. The deceased did file charges against those two before his demise. He did. We have some video clip. They may be short, but if you speak Yoruba and you can clearly understand Yoruba, Sam Larry says some words against there, and those words goes against him. And there was another clip. There is a witness who said, "Look at what Sam Larry did to Mohbad." If they are serious about this, we can get somewhere. So to say that there are no enough evidence, and if I'm Wumi, so now all of a sudden, Wumi is a wife. Have you all forgotten the 2 years of the damage you've done to this girl? Some of you, including you, Adedoyi, call her, said she's not a wife. Today you are here talking about she's the wife, she should take it out. Take it out from who? Where are your traditions that gave all the right to Mohbad's death?
Let's slow down the pace a little bit. I want to slow down the pace a little bit. Because you said something about Naira Marley and Sam Larry bullying Mohbad. Okay, so we had a bit of conflict when the news was announced. So first, it was hair infection. Secondly, it was Naira Marley and Sam Larry. They reported themselves to the police when they returned to the country. And then at that point in time, the police interviewed them. They detained them and all that kind of stuff for a considerable period of time to do their findings. And then the moment that turns out to be the cause of death, then obviously DNA situation is flying in the air. Yabo Ojo, VDM, and African television, fine. So now, should our focus, because the thing is that we get all these distractions, and the discussion with the inquest is still the cause of death. So if we have actually zeroed Naira Marley, Sam Larry, and Prime Boy out of it, should we not then come back at this point in time to the cause of death?
We should go back because I agree. We should go back to the cause of death.
Yes.
But at this point, what the distraction they are trying to bring, I don't know why they're trying to bring this distraction right now. You know, because this thing, people made up a lot of stories when we started this journey. Do you understand me? There were a lot of things, distractions came out from nowhere, and I don't know. You know, I don't understand how I sit on this panel, and you can see that a lot of people that you are chatting with are somehow knowledgeable, but for some reason they ignore all that and they believe in a person like, you know, they gullibly and foolishly follow somebody like VDM out of nowhere and leave all the facts in front of them. Rather, we all went straight. Let me not say we. They went straight after the wife and looking at nothing else but the wife. I have my own, you know, I have my own this thing too that I can bring up and say, okay, I can make up my own conspiracy theory, and it makes a lot of sense. Naira Marley bullied him. Sam Larry and Naira Marley, they were bullying him. There are tapes out there. He said, the wife said he was dead. We have a lot of, he went into depression.
Let me address that. I want to address that. Otiku Kotoku Yoruba, which means Otiku Sara already.
Yes.
Yeah, because the thing is that they've managed to suppress him completely. He's not able to get into any shows. Even when he went to London, he was looking behind his back and all that kind of stuff. He came to this show, and even this show actually seemed, for me, this show, I'm going to say this for the first time, this show may have been an orchestration to finish him off once and for all.
That's what I'm saying. Let me finish my conspiracy, which I'm not saying is fact, but it makes a lot of sense. Because a lot of people drum up a lot of conspiracy theories. So they wanted to, you know, make sure they finish him, but they couldn't get. How about I can say Naira Marley and Sam Larry sent Prime Boy to go and attack Mohbad. And even the nurse, I can say the nurse was planted into the house to give him the wrong medication.
We're going to slow down there. We're going to slow down there. Now, the reason why I'm going to slow you down is that.
Right, exactly.
A conspiracy theory. If we have a conspiracy theory, yourself, good afternoon. So, if we have a theory that.
Are you asking me, Dolly, to unmute myself?
No. It's Bolly B. It's Bolly B.
Right, okay. Bolly, okay. Sounds like my name. Good afternoon, everyone. Anyway.
And then, okay, so if we have a theory that they've masterminded a process of finishing him off. Now, if they did not manage to finish him off at the show, in the but he then died in the house. How about that? He died inside the house. How about that?
So, boss, when will I be able to talk? When will I be able to talk?
Okay, let me do something random very quickly, because we've got things round in a particular shape. You will talk now, but very wicked lady.
I want to know when can I talk first if she might hear.
No. I want. Don't fight now. Don't fight.
You know, I'm not done with my.
No fighting. We kill. No.
We cool. No. Ain't nobody fighting over here. I got time for that.
Don't worry. Wally B and Queen Abika, I know what I'm doing. Okay, very wicked lady, speak, please.
All right.
Okay, thank you. All right, go on, very wicked lady. What's on your mind? Very wicked lady, prodigal's daughter of God. Go on. Prodigal. I'm going to move on now if you don't speak.
Hey, Moti Soga.
Okay.
About the DPP and Baba, like the case.